Hello, namaskar. My name is Pooja Dwivedi. Welcome to my class. The Prime Minister of India was on a tour to France and the UAE. In France, he was honored to be the chief guest at the Bastille Day parade. The implications of India's visit to France are many. We are going to decode them one by one. I have curated the information from all the important legacy newspapers in order to reduce the burden and the lethargy that you must be feeling about covering India-France relations. Before I begin with the class, I would like to solve with you all the previous class question, not year question, that I asked you in one of my classes, and many of you have answered it correctly. I have also put your names on the leaderboard. Consider the following countries: China, India, Ukraine, Pakistan, Israel. How many of the above countries have not signed the Non-Proliferation Treaty? So, the Non-Proliferation Treaty dictates that state parties to it cannot transfer the technology related to nuclear energy, as well as those countries who have nuclear weapons. If they sign this, they will get rid of their nuclear weapons. Why would India do that when our neighbor Pakistan and China are nuclear weapon states? So we haven't done that. So India, Pakistan and Israel. These are the three countries among these countries who have not signed the Non-Proliferation Treaty. And North Korea as well as South Sudan are two more countries. So 5 countries are out of the ambit of the NPT and they are declared or undeclared nuclear weapon states. So 2, 4, 5 is the correct answer. So the correct answer here will be 3 only. Many of you have answered it correctly and the leaderboard consists of all your names. Congratulations. I will ask another question. If you watch this segment carefully, you will be able to answer that as well and comment the answer in the comment segment. See, the classes, the PDF of the classes that I take here is provided regularly on my Telegram channel that goes by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. If you have any queries regarding any class I take or strategy, you can talk to me on my Instagram as well. We are also launching our evening batches of the P2I. P2I means Prelims, Mains and Interviews. For Prelims, we are going to provide you the classes, of course, along with that study material at your doorstep. SIP, Success in Prelims, Prelims Test Series. For Mains, we have another Mains Enrichment Program and a Mains Residential Program for those students who are going to qualify Prelims 2024. We will provide you the lodging facilities at the StudyIQ campus where you will prepare free of any distraction for the Mains examination, and the Mains Test Series will be included. Other than that, an arduous program for interviews as well. So, if you take admission in the evening batch, which is starting from 22nd of July, it will all begin from 6 p.m. in the evening, and meager amount of 29,999, just that you need to pay. And this will be available for those students who are going to use the code PDLive. So please do it without any delay. Prelims, Mains and Interview, everything at one place, a meager amount, and we have very less time for the UPSC examination. Now, the key things that India achieved at the visit includes, of course, the granting of the highest state of honor of France on the Prime Minister, but not just on the Prime Minister, but the 1.4 billion people of India. An agreement has also been reached for using India's UPI transactions in France, along with, of course, we know that many European countries, the Benelux country, are using it. We are working on a roadmap for the next 25 years of strategic partnership. See, India and France developed their diplomatic relations in the year 1947, and in the year 1998, they took it to the strategic level. What is strategic level? Strategic level means that our relation is important from the perspective of many things: defense, space, cultural ties, economic ties, Indo-Pacific. So many things. When the relations are important not only in one area but many other areas, which actually dictates another relations that one country has, is a strategic partnership. So right now we are in the 25th, we have completed the 25th year of the strategic partnership that India has with France since the year 1998. To honor that only, we are also planning for a new horizon to be completed in 2047, and that will be the 100 years of diplomatic relations that India has with France. Long-term 5-year visas for students will also be provided. This is a part of the, of course, people-to-people ties. Another thing, The Bastille Day parade, which holds a specific importance in the national history of France. At this only, the Prime Minister was the chief guest, and of course, the acquiring of the signing of the for the acquirement of 26 Rafale marine jets have also been done, and that is also one of the biggest achievements of India so far. Now, importantly, both countries are working on Indo-Pacific Cooperation Roadmap. This is one of the biggest things. See, Indo-Pacific is a region from where enormous amount of trade happens between India, USA, Europe, and that region has many choke points. On that region, our neighbor China has its clause, as in it is wanting to cooperate with South Pacific Island countries, many other countries, through which it can place its navy on their ports. So, a roadmap will be developed where France and India will have a roadmap for providing financial aid as well to those countries who are seemingly dependent on just China. Other than this, India and France have been together in their war against terror on many regions. Also, the decision of the French government to grant long-term visa has been welcomed. These all things we are going to cover. So, recently, Prime Minister was given the highest state honor. This state honor is the Legion of Honor, or the Grand Cross of the Legion of Honor. It is the highest French decoration given for both civil and military people. It was established by Napoleon Bonaparte as early as 1802, and it is given on the behalf of the French head of state to its most deserving citizens in all fields of activity. And the prime motto of the order is Honneur et Patrie, that means honor and fatherland. And it derives no material or financial benefit, that means no cash prize is given. And it cannot be applied for, that is, nobody can apply to get this. The government of France picks out the people, and the Prime Minister has joined the elite group of very few foreigners who have received this prize, this honor. And it is a 5-armed Maltese asterisk. It has a 5-armed Maltese asterisk, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. It has a red ribbon, and of course many other things can be asked. It is hung on an oak and laurel wreath. A wreath has been like this. Here it is small, I have drawn the larger one. Okay, also on the obverse is the effigy of the Republic, and on the reverse two tricolor flags surrounded by motto. The motto of it, honor and fatherland, and the color of the ribbon is red. Okay, now as I told you, the Bastille Day parade holds a special significance in the national history of France because it was the rage of the common people against the monarchy. How? Because the social and cultural issues back then were not very conducive, and people were not happy with the way things were working. So, Bastille was actually a French fortress which was initially established. It was just a gate in order to retaliate from the English war. But after a period of time, it started to become a detention center. So, from here we can say that Bastille, or the French prison, when people got enraged by by the apathy of the monarchy, they went there and they stormed the Bastille. So that is why 14th July is the date. That is why it is known as the Bastille Day. And it actually set in motion the French Revolution, which was a decade-old revolution. And it popularized the slogans such as liberty, equality, and fraternity. As I told you, it's a 14th century fortress which was turned into a prison in Paris that was used to incarcerate political prisoners. Even Voltaire was imprisoned here. And as I told you that the social economic conditions were so bad, people could not even afford bread. And the king and queen, Louis XIV and Marie Antoinette, they couldn't help much. So, under the pressure of the common people's rage, he summoned the Estate General. But it was just advisory. The king could also not listen to this. It consisted of clergy, nobility, and the commoners. The commoners, although were huge in number, but their say was meager, and that is why they broke away from the Estate General, saying that if we are not valued, we are going to make another party, and this party was known as the National Assembly. Now, on June 20th, 1789, these people from the National Assembly They took a tennis court oath saying that we will not stop until and unless we have our constitution. So Louis XIV started moving more troops into Paris, which created a lot of tension. And on July 11th, he also dismissed Jacques Necker, his popular and only non-highborn minister, which was the, actually the spark in whatever fuel was being accumulated since so many years. So then it was decided, we will go to the Bastille, we will tell the governor there, please free the prisoners, give us arms and ammunition, but the governor said no. So they started storming the Bastille. So that is why it was apparently the end of monarchy, but the monarchy did continue after that. India was also called at the Bastille Day parade as the chief guest in the year 2009 when Dr. Manmohan Singh went there. Okay, moving on. And as you can see, this is the National Day of France, and it is also known as Bastille Day. It is of course known as Bastille Day, but also Fête Nationale Française. It is marked by long military parade in which tri-service of the Indian Army also took place, also took participation. So this year, the Bastille Day parade, about 6,300 soldiers in various marching contingents took place. Took participation, a tri-service contingent of the Indian Army, Navy and Air Force also took place, specifically Punjab Regiment, which is the oldest regiment, and it was awarded the 18th Battle and Theatre Honours in the First War, when it fought side by side with their French counterpart. So you can see the comparison of the Punjab Regiment from 1916 and now 2023. This is reminiscent of the century-long association that India has with France. And the French president has also called India as a giant in world history, which it is. You cannot deny that. So the Punjab regiment participated in an offensive near Neuve-Chapelle in France in September 1915 during the First World War, and it also won 16 battle honours and 14 theatre honours in Second World War. So this was reminiscent of the fact. It was a very goosebumpy movement for me. Moving on, as you can see, the Rafale jets that we acquired back in, for which the MOU was signed back in 2016, we timely acquired the 36 Rafale jets, and they also participated in the Bastille Day parade. And as you can see, the next picture is showing the pomp and show this entire military parade had. Now the prelims question for which I would like you to answer, because the tune of Sare Jahan Se Achha was also heard during this Bastille Day parade. So who composed the famous song Sare Jahan Se Achha? These are the many options that we have. Answer it correctly and you will be on the leaderboard in the next class. Now, India and France have also agreed to use UPI in France. It will all start from Eiffel Tower, where Indians will be able to pay, Indian tourists will be able to pay in rupees and they do not need to carry cash or forex card. So this is one thing. Also, this is a dominance of India in the digital sector. That see, we do not need dollars anymore. We do not need any other country anymore. Countries, you can say currency anymore. We have our own now. And it will of course be very valuable because in January 2023, this year only, it was said that non-resident Indians from 10 countries, they can use UPI to send and receive money if their domestic bank accounts are linked to their phone numbers abroad. These countries included Singapore, Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, Oman, Qatar, US even, Saudi Arabia, UAE and the United Kingdom. And it was said by the NPCI, the nodal body for UPI, that it will be made available only for those accounts who are complying with the Foreign Exchange Management Act. Many other countries are also having UPI. They have, adopted UPI. Bhutan was the first country to do so in 2021. After that, we had Nepal, UAE, Malaysia, UK as well as Singapore. Even Europe. In Europe, we also have a dominance. How? In October 2022, Worldline, which is a global leader in payment services, tied up with NIPL to expand the acceptance of Indian payment means across Europe, specifically the Benelux countries. These are the countries of Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg and Switzerland. Okay, Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands and Switzerland. It's not in the map right now. So here also we are gaining dominance when it comes to UPI. Another thing is that the list of outcomes are three-pronged. First is of course this participation in defense sector and space sector. So for defense, the most important kingpins are fighter jets and Scorpions. They hailed Prime Minister of India and the President of France. They hailed the timely completion of the project with respect to 36 Rafale jets. Now we have to go for 26 marine Rafale jets. Then of course the timely delivery of the Scorpions as well. 6 Scorpion submarines under the P-75 program. That also we acquired from France. In space, we have collaboration with French CNES, which is the space agency of France, for especially reusable launches, because we have so many we can say launches coming up. We need to ensure that the launches that we are using are reusable in nature so that we can cut cost. Other than this, finalization of the joint Earth observation satellite, which is by the name of Trishna. This has also been done. And the first phase of the constellation of maritime observation surveillance satellite in the Indian Ocean that we need, and also ensure that our satellites do not collide with each other. This is also very important. Other than this, civil nuclear energy. That means nuclear energy is important for us to meet our energy demands without carbon footprints. So for that also, the progress is going on with respect to CEPR power plant project in Jabalpur. Also, there was an agreement upon small modular reactors as well as advanced modular reactors. Other than this, we can also say that Indo-Pacific is one of the biggest reasons why we have strategic ties or strategic ties with France. Indo-French Development Fund for third countries. Here what it will do, like China is right now loaning out the amount to these small countries in an unsustainable mode. If these countries, small Pacific Island countries, are not able to pay back, it is taking hold of the ports, hence increasing the presence of Chinese Navy. So what France is trying to do with India is, we will give out loans and aid to these smaller countries which are actually right now dependent on China, but we will ensure that they are not dependent on any other country, but still get the help that they need. In counter-terrorism, there is the strengthening of cooperation between France's GIGN and India's National Security Guard. In critical technology, specifically India and France are coordinating in the field of supercomputing, cloud computing, artificial intelligence and quantum computing as well. There is also announcement of an agreement between ATOS and the Ministry of Earth Science of India for the supply of supercomputers worth rupees 920 crores. See where we are going. Civil aviation, there is also the plans of expanding routes between France and India and also the growth of civil market. Then, India and France have a long way to go, and that is of course settled with the fact that we launched the International Solar Alliance in 2015 with France. So for plastic pollution, an international treaty should be there to put an end to plastic pollution throughout the entire life cycle of plastic products. This is also being finalized. I mean, talks are going on. With respect to health, there has been a signing of letter of intent on health and medicine to structure cooperation in hospital medical research, digital technology, biotechnology, public health, and combating microbacterial resistance as part of the One Health approach, specifically with respect to the upcoming pandemics, because they will come sooner or later. Blue economy, that means ensuring that livelihood is sustainable through exploring our oceans as well. So partnership between, I'm not going to take the name because I'm not capable, but yes, I will take here. IFREMER, French Research and Institute for Exploitation of the Sea. Between this institute as well as India's National Institute of Ocean Technology on Ocean Research, this has been done so that proper collaboration can take place. Also, energy transition, that means we have to move from the current coal-based technology when it comes to energy to renewable energy. For that, there is an announcement of rupees 923 crore from the French Development Agency. Second phase of for India's second phase of flagship Sustainable Cities program, which is being developed with the help of European Union and KfW of Germany. So here also France will support us in terms of aid. And also announcement of rupees 246 crore in financing from the Proparco for the South Asia Growth Fund. Also announcement of rupees 164 crore financing from Proparco with Satya Micro Capital for giving women in rural India access to microfinance. So as you can see, it is very far-reaching, our agreement with France. And decarbonized hydrogen as well, that means green hydrogen we are talking about here. Announcement of a partnership between MC McPhee we can call it, and Larsen and Toubro on manufacturing electrolyzers in India. Indo-French roadmap is also being settled for decarbonized hydrogen, which was launched in 2022. So these are the many things that you can write in your mains examination once it is asked about anything about Indo-France, but make sure that you are writing it correctly. When they are going to talk about the approach that India has with France for 2047, these are the brownie points that you have to pick out. Now, with respect to people relation, there is also student mobility plan in which France is targeting that 30,000 students from India have to be there by the year 2030. There is also the plan of issuing a 5-year-long stay visa for those students who have completed their master's degree from French universities. They are also conducting international classes for non-French speaking population so that there is better integration. Signing of 2 MOUs between the institute, IPP will call it, and IIT Delhi and IIT Madras has also taken place. Other than this, there is the importance of employment of consular network, announcement of the opening of Consulate General of India in Marseille and Bureau de France in Hyderabad. So 2 consulars are also being opened. When it comes to culture, France's selection as India's partner for the establishment of a major new national museum in New Delhi. And France Media's Monde and Prasar Bharati have also signed an agreement to exchange audio-visual content. They have also agreed to do co-production of programs on areas such as culture, education, science and tech. Now, research, France and India will also increase funding for the research program through French Center for the Promotion of Advanced Research. Gifts. Prime Minister Modi has carried many gifts to France, such as a complete sandalwood sitar for the French President Emmanuel Macron. Pochampalli Ikkat. Pochampalli is a place in Andhra Pradesh, and the weaving technique is known as Ikkat. It has been given to French President's wife, that is, of course, Brigitte Macron. Okay, then we have this very beautiful marble plate with an inlay work. This is the Makrana marble. This has been given to the Prime Minister of France. Then we have hand knitted silk Kashmiri carpet for the National Assembly over there. National Assembly, French National Assembly. Okay. Then also the sandalwood hand carved elephant Ambavari for Gerard Larcher, who is the President of the French Senate. So these are the many important things that we had to keep in mind when it comes to India's recent visit to France. I hope you understood this topic well. I will provide you the PDF on my Telegram channel. Do subscribe to it. Thank you so much.